I'm going to show you a Claude skill that I created in order to work with Storyline in JavaScript. If you're not aware already, I do have a free app that allows you to do that. And this free app is Storyline in JavaScript. And it does allow you to copy some code and even change some of the code down here in order to paste it inside of Storyline. Now, while I have a lot of snippets there, it doesn't cover everything. And what if you wanted to manipulate the code a little bit differently? So that's really where the Claude skill comes into play. So with this Claude skill, I've basically taken all the snippets that I currently have and I trained it with the Storyline API. Now, with that, you're able to create whatever content you want. You can still use the snippets that I have, or you can have it manipulate. It's not perfect, and I'll continue to iterate on it to make it better. But I like this a little bit more because it allows you to generate different snippets right within Claude and have Claude alter it for you. And all you have to do is prompt it. So let's go ahead and go back to my website. Actually, before I do, I'm going to go back into here and I already downloaded this sample file. So if you want to use that, or you can use whatever Storyline project file that you have. But if you want to get the Claude skill, go into my download section. And right here, it's the Storyline and JavaScript Claude skill. So if you click this, you will have to sign up for a free account inside of the dojo here. So just sign up for a free account and then you can click on download. Once you click on download, it will download a skill for you. So you can see this by Storyline-JavaScript skill. Now all I have to do is come into Claude and then you just basically just drag it in here and say install this skill. And I already have it installed, so it may prompt that, hey, you already have this skill installed, but I just want to show you the process of that. So it'll inspect the skill and then it will basically have you install it at that point. If you're not familiar, skills basically are just instructions that somebody creates that you can share out with other people. And then anytime they use that skill, it follows your instructions. It follows whatever pattern that you've created, and it helps Claude, but also helps the person take advantage of specific knowledge as well. Now, I have not changed this version. It did recognize that an earlier version is already installed, and you can see that it installed the skill anyways. To access this skill, all I have to do is when I'm typing a prompt is I hit the /. Now, once you hit the /, you can start typing in Storyline, so Storyline JavaScript. So you can use that at any point here. So what I'm gonna do is come into here, and inside of my interaction, I have this right here where it will detect the date. And I have a couple variables into play here. So right now I set the background to May. Let's set it to, right now it's July at the time of this recording, but this is gonna be May if the month is equal to 5. Set the background if June is equal to, if the month is equal to 6, or if the month is equal to 7. Now I do want to display what the month is just to double check here. So I'm going to go ahead and insert some text box here. So let me make sure that I insert the text box and I'm just going to insert the reference. So going back into insert here, I'll go into reference and then I will just make sure that I grab the month. So here's my month. I'll click OK here. Now it's going to display the month right there. I'm going to move this down so I could see it a little bit better right there. Okay, so right now it's 0. I don't have anything to begin with, but let's go ahead and go back into Claude. I have a variable called month inside of Storyline. I want to use Storyline, help me detect the month and update these variable inside of Storyline. Now, whenever you get a number back, it will basically start out at 0. So if you're trying to detect if it's January, for example, it will detect it as 0. So I'm going to wait and see if it actually takes that into account and see if I need to add to it. But let's go ahead and see what code it generates for now. So I need to update the variable inside a Storyline with the current month. So as simple as that, I'm now using the skill to be able to create JavaScript snippets. It doesn't have to be JavaScript snippets that are already there to begin with. Or I can start to iterate on this. Let's say I want more than just a month. I want the current time as well. Then maybe I create a variable called time, which I do have that. If you come into my variables in this sample file, I do have current time. I have hours. You can get down to minutes. I don't have, oh, right there, I do have current time as well. You can even detect who the user is inside of your LMS as well, which I'm going to actually be creating a video on that next week. So you can check that out. Those are the kinds of things that you can do with this. Now it gives me this snippet, and it does walk me through right here. So you can see right here, option B, month as the name of July. So if you, instead of a number, you want it in as the actual name, you can use this snippet as well. But I just want a number, but it did take into account saying, hey, the January is going to be equal to 0. So let's go ahead and add 1 to it. So it's 1, 2, and it matches up the actual month number here. Great, it did that for me automatically. Then it pushed back into the variable called month, it pushed back the data right there. So literally all I have to do is copy that, and let's come in here and detect the month when they actually click on this. And so we'll add a trigger. And once we add the trigger, I'm gonna go ahead and select this drop-down box, and we're going to execute JavaScript here. And then I will go ahead and just place in that JavaScript. That's all I have to do here. Let current time equal new date. And then the month is going to be right here. That's all I'm getting. And then I click OK. And then I click OK here. If you haven't checked out my course, you can check out my full course where I cover everything from A to Z in Storyline and JavaScript. We talk about JavaScript basics. So even though I'm using AI to prompt the JavaScript or to create the JavaScript, I still think it's good to be able to know the different types of JavaScript code that's available and really what the JavaScript is doing, so you could read through it in case something is wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Get Date here. Notice that it says 7, but it didn't change my background here. Let's go ahead and see why. So if month is equal to 7, so set the background when today's date. So I'm looking for the wrong variable here. So right now we're not grabbing today's date. We're actually just going to grab the month here. So right now when the month changes, that's when the indicator will be. I have other videos showing you how to grab the full dates, like the month, the day, and the year as well. But right now we're just worried about the month. So you can see here, it changed to 7. It also updated my image. So there's a combination of both adding some logic inside of Storyline, but also using the JavaScript snippets, whether you're using the JavaScript snippet tool or you're using Claude, this new skill. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What matters is you going in and knowing how to update Storyline to work with the right data and to copy in the code. Let's go back into Claude and let's ask it to detect the time. So right now I have a variable called current time. So let's go back in here and let's say this is going to be a text file. So I'm going to insert that text, and let me just insert it right after the month here. So we'll say time, colon, and then I'm going to insert under reference, I'll insert current time. So now I have that here. Let's come back in here and say, I also have a variable called current time. Can you also figure out the current time and push that variable back to current time inside of the Storyline trigger? I don't know if this will do it as the same prompt as before, so it'll have that same code in addition to this code, or if I basically just copy this code and place it under the other code. I'm gonna wait for it to generate, and then basically we can take a look at to see if it has the month still, and if it does have the month, I can just replace the old code, or I will just place this new code below it as well if I want to update this at the same time. Now, because I used that skill once inside of this chat, I don't need to necessarily bring it in every single time. So you can see right here, now we have the month, it is getting the month, it is setting the month as well, but it also is getting the current time. And then it is passing that variable back in as current time. So it's providing everything inside of here. So I'll go ahead and copy that, and then I will come back into, let me just make sure it's not covering my button here. I will come back into my trigger right here, and then I can just click on where it says JavaScript to get back into that code, and then I can place it right there. Now, one thing I do like about Claude Code is it does give you comments. Anything that has the / is a comment, and it gives you the comment on exactly what is happening here. So you can read through it, and this can also help you get to know what JavaScript is happening here. So I'll click OK. Let's go ahead and preview this now. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me if there is additional skills that you want me to create as well to help you with your Storyline development. That's really what this channel is all about, to help you get the most out of your Storyline skill. But like I mentioned, you could also check out the full course that covers everything from A to Z of JavaScript within Storyline 360, where I cover what are variables, what are arrays, and different things like that. Okay, so let's go back in here and let's click on Get Time. And it is kind of dark there. I do see the time, but let me change the color just so we can see it a little bit better. And then I'll run it again here. So let's select this drop-down box. Let's go change this to white text, and I'm gonna preview this again here. So there we go, 10:13 a.m. You may be thinking to yourself, how is this useful? How would I ever change the different things? Well, it may depend on your company. If your company has different pieces of information, or your company headquarters looks different at different times of the year, which everybody's does, and you want to change the image, then you can change the image based on the time of year. Let's say some piece of information is dependent on, oh, we see that it's now after 5 p.m. It's actually closed at this point. So you could change the context of whatever, personalize the context of whatever content that you're talking about as well. That's some of the reasons why you'd want to indicate what time and also what month it is to be able to use it inside of your storyline. I think this is pretty cool to be able to just use a Claude skill to have you generate some code and combine some of the code. Instead of having to combine the snippets, you can basically ask Claude to combine some of the snippets and add to the snippets as well. So that is the goal of the snippets. Make sure that you download that, leave me some feedback as well. If you want to check out more, you can head on over to my website, eLearningDojo.ninja. You can check out all the free different tools that I have. You can also check out my blog posts covering everything from A to Z. We also have member-specific content as well that's only available on the website. We also have full courses covering everything from A to Z and Storyline, how to create a custom course inside of Claude Code as well. We have other downloads that you can check out. Also, if you like this video, head on over to my YouTube channel, click the like button and subscribe to my channel. That really helps my channel, allows me to reach more learning developers like yourself that want to go beyond just what's out of the box inside of these standard e-learning tools and get more out of your learning developments. That is the goal of this channel. That's all I have for today. So thanks everyone. I'll see you next time.